This portion of episode 6 of Alternative Facts Chicago is sponsored by Green Wave Dispensary. Dispensary downtown Lansing, Michigan, conveniently located on the corner of Oakland and Cedar. For all your cannabis products and more, check out our boys doing big things in Lansing. This dispensary is not in Illinois, Michigan folks only. Their website is greenwave.co. Again, that is greenwave.co.
All right. Episode 6. We're here.
What's up, man? We back again, B.
No, man, it feels great. I think that it's been a crazy week or 2 weeks.
It always is, right?
Yeah, right. I feel like every time we come back to this, something new happens. A bunch of, whether it's like political or hip hop, mainstream or pop, someone does something goofy. So it's never a slow news day, news week, news month.
We're trying to keep up at all times, right?
Yeah, it can be very difficult at times, but we do our best. Thank God for Twitter.
Absolutely. Well, this is Bihan. This is my guy Bobby.
We're
episode
here.
6, Alternative Facts Chicago. It's been a great rise quickly. In fact, we got to say it now. Please stay tuned to the end of this episode. We have a huge announcements coming up that we will announce at the end of this episode. You might want to stay tuned to hear it. We've just been doing, great things, big things, and the people are catching on, for something where we started in episode 1, just trying to see what happens in the following, the spins, everything is just growing. It's happening fast from the beginning in our 6th episode.
Yeah, thank you so much to all our subscribers, people who left us reviews, just like family supporting us. It's, it's one of those things where I did not imagine how, big the support would be, especially from the podcast community.
For sure.
Hashtag Pod on Family on Twitter.
For sure.
And Instagram, the support's been crazy. So I
Pods
really,
in Color too?
Yeah, Pods in Color.
Shouts out to them.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much. And I look forward to the next 1,000 episodes.
For sure. We just started. So like we mentioned, stay tuned for the end of this episode. We got a big announcement coming up. But before that, we got a lot to dive into.
Yes.
It's been a crazy, week and a half?
Yeah.
So let's get right into it, B.
Right,
what you got first?
So the FBI director, James Comey, he was fired by Trump or the deputy general.
Do you even call him President Trump ever?
No, just Trump. He's just Trump. I'm always going to know him as Trump. He's not presidential, so he doesn't deserve to be called Trump. But yeah, so he was fired last week or a couple of days ago last week from I think they sent out a memo to him. He wasn't expecting it, just stating that due to the way he handled, I think, Hillary's emails or something like that, which is kind of funny that he fired him for something of that nature after he testified in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee. And yeah, he just got rid of him. And that was that. And then after that, he sent out a tweet, I think the next day, saying that, they had some type of tapes where, or conversations. And he basically threatened the guy. So Trump is basically threatening his political opponents.
Isn't that crazy?
Or people who aren't loyal to him, quote unquote.
For sure. And I think the bigger reason, weren't they saying that, he had something on him with his ties to Russia? Yeah.
I mean, So crazy thing is Comey was investigating the Trump administration. I know, Michael Flynn's been in hot water and they're just following the trails, or the breadcrumbs, probably the Obama administration left for them. So yeah, it's one of those things that Trump he needs a publicist if he doesn't have one.
He is his publicist, but
he is his own person. So he does what he wants, and I think it's kind of crazy. So I get it because and I get the other side because like I said, I want to reiterate, I'm more moderate when it comes to in politics in general. So I get the fact that Democrats were calling to get rid of Comey and all that other good stuff, and also and when he got rid of him, people were kind of in the uproar, but I think it just goes down to it being how he got rid of him and when. So timing is everything.
Absolutely.
If you would have got rid of him in the beginning of the year, then people probably would have been like, all right, good stuff.
Right.
You got rid of him. You thought he was incompetent or you thought he just wasn't the right fit. But, he did it during a time when he was being investigated for the ties to Russia. So it was just horrible timing.
It makes it even worse.
Yeah. And so for that point, I can't defend, the Trump supporters when it comes to him doing it during that, like the way he did it.
Absolutely.
So and then on top of that, he put it on the attorney generals. I think Sessions and Ronstein or Rothstein, whatever his name is.
Right.
And it was one of those things that I just think that we need to get an independent committee, in order to investigate this, because the situation, I just feel like a lot of the media, and the journalists, they just need to go back to old school principles.
I don't think that's going to happen, though, not at all.
Yeah, and just stay away from, putting out the early news stories and all the fake news, because sometimes I get confused too. I was telling this the other day, where I don't know what's real, what's fake, and I think that they just need to go back, follow the money trail, do old fashioned reporting, and I think the truth is going to eventually come out.
I think it's clickbait, though.
Yeah, no, a lot of it.
It's the first of the story.
Yeah, a lot of it is clickbait, and they need to just kind of step away from that and just go back to old school recruiting, get the story, and then nail the guy.
You would think so, but I think in this day and age, we're all about, especially with social media, it's clickbait. Who can get the first of the story, whether it's true or not? Whoever posts it first, and then you'll start getting retweets. You'll start getting reposts.
Which is like what's wrong with social media today, and that's what's wrong with the media. That's why every time he says fake news, his followers and people kind of like, yeah, you're right. Like,
absolutely,
you don't really know what to believe. And even me, I'm a pretty, I read both sides when it comes to the stories, and he's right. Like, even I'm confused. So I can only imagine the average American with, below intellect living somewhere in Iowa, they're probably just eating it all up from him. So it's,
absolutely, I think it's bad.
Yeah.
Just a simple fact that, he found out that he was fired through a news reporter.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, he was given some type of conference.
Wasn't even reached out to directly.
Or some speech, and he was let go. I just hope that he goes in and if they can get him to testify in front of the Senate committee and have it. And I heard they said that he wanted to do it in public, but then they asked him to do it in private, but he wants to do it in public. If it somehow happens where they get him out in front of the public and do it, then I think that would just be great, because we need to show the world that no one is above the law.
Man, no one cares about outside of the United States. Right now we're a joke to everyone in public and around the country too, and even globally. So I don't think that's going to happen. It's just a big mess. We're going to get back into Donald Trump a little bit later, so please stay tuned.
Yeah,
don't need to talk about him too much for right now, but getting into some Chicago stories, we need to talk about our own city. And the funniest story I saw this past weekend, which is crazy, for the second year in a row, Chicago's main jail, Cook County Jail, where they said they had to go into lockdown after more than 200 of its employees didn't show up for their Mother's Day shifts. How does it happen? Over 200 people that said, screw it, I'm not going to work today. Did not plan this out ahead of time, didn't take PTO. What just happened there? What's your thoughts on that?
Man, mothers are very important, and sometimes you just got to call out of work.
I guess so, but man, come on, bro.
Well, yeah, no, what that's telling me is Chicago is probably not paying them well enough. They're being skimped some way or another. Not enough vacation day, not enough sick days. Something that's like the oddest thing I've ever heard before.
200.
Yeah, over 200 people. How do over 200 people call out?
That's a lot.
Who are they calling out to?
That's almost like planned, where they knew, all right, these 200 people are secret, we're going to just straight band together.
Yeah.
We're not showing up for work.
Let's
just no show.
It's like they have their own union, and they're like, hey, guys, all right, you ready? Let's do this. Everyone sends a text out at the same time,
Absolutely.
and then they'll show up. Yeah, it's odd, and that goes to show you that there's Cook County, Chicago, we're so far behind when it comes to just
it's crazy.
Just doing anything the right way. I feel like we're so messed up right now, and from a systematic standpoint, and that should never ever happen. And on top of that, you have people who moms are probably visiting the jails.
Oh yeah,
and
sure.
and they're wanting to see their sons and or daughters.
But they couldn't do it though.
The case may be,
because all the employees weren't there. It said I saw the status that all the jails, 10 divisions, were affected by the lockdown. Only essential movement was allowed in the jail. So basically, it had to be for a specific reason, or you weren't getting in there just for that day.
Yeah. So and on top of that, they said that it happened on Father's Day too, and so Father's Day is coming up within the next month. They better get their crap together, and they better have these people work or give them time and a half or something, because that's just unacceptable for all sides.
For sure. I think it's just really bad. And obviously we're just dealing with a lot of corrupt stuff in the city of Chicago.
Always.
And we love our city. So I think we're here talking about these stories. So we need to, help come up with a solution. We need to make these stories known. Like just stuff like that where a jail has to go on lockdown because people are calling in. That's not good. Did you see this story in like many other cities around the country for Mother's Day?
Nope.
And it's just always something going on with our city.
Pay people more. Just pay people more. Appreciate your employees. Give them some type of perks, benefits,
right? And
they won't do that
for sure. You can tell they probably sick of dealing with all the stuff and all the crap. And like I can only imagine.
Oh, what goes on in there?
With.
Oh yeah, I mean, if shows or shows like Lockdown or even like fictional shows like Orange Is the New Black or any type of movies, and if you see what the inmates do to these guards or COs, I can only imagine that they're probably like, man, forget this. Like, this is a holiday. I want to spend with my loved one. Like, I'm not dealing with anyone throwing piss on me today.
It's not worth getting beat up for this Mother's Day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm calling in, bruh. I'm out of here. Absolutely.
I'm out.
For sure. So another story I saw, we got to hit into this quickly. It was about a story of a guy. Police are searching for a man. For those that live in the city, if you don't figure it out, Google it, looking like ABC 7 Chicago. I saw a video, it was like 5 hours ago. It happened pretty recently. Or maybe it was just posted of a guy who's searching for a man who viciously attacked a female security guard outside like a River North condo.
Yes. So essentially, from what it looks like from the video, I watched this video like 10 times today. And, it seems like the woman was telling him not to loiter in front of that condo. And the condominium, like the front of it looked like really nice. So she probably was telling him not to loiter, not to smoke, or probably they're probably just drunk or belligerent. It's, it could have been like at, nothing good happens around 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. So they're probably out there and she probably out there just chilling. And she told him like, yeah, you guys got to leave. Or if you don't live here, you just evacuate the premises. And that guy didn't like it. So he walked up, threw some water at her. She ran up on him and he sucker punched her. So
he socked her pretty clean too.
Yeah. And then they need to find that guy. And it was him with another gentleman and 2 other women. The fact that those women didn't do anything. And the guy should have said something, his other friend. But the fact that those 2 other women did anything is like, come on, like you guys should be ashamed of yourselves, and you're just as guilty as the guy who sucker punched her. So I hope they find this guy. I think he was wearing like a black polo. He seemed like he was like 6 foot. He was kind of stocky. He actually looked like someone I knew. But so it's just like, and I think he was kind of wearing a hat or something. So they need to find this guy, and he needs to go to jail for what he's done.
And the only reason we're talking about this, we wouldn't even talked about this. We want to bring awareness to the situation.
Yeah.
For those that live in the city, find this sucker. I think he's a big loser for doing it. Maybe he was drunk, but it doesn't make it necessarily an excuse. And for all his friends that were with him, you guys are even worse for not doing something about it. So research the story, find this guy. I don't want to give him too much attention because he's kind of a joke for doing this. But at the end of the day, we need to find this person and send him to jail. They're going to find him.
And just to let them know, like regardless, I mean, it's never right. Just, it's never a good thing to hit anyone.
Absolutely not.
Like don't put your hands on people, but especially a woman.
Yeah, that's just
just a no-go. You just don't do that. And the way he kind of ran up on him, and like I was like, if I was me, like he would have been knocked out flat out, like straight up. And so it's just like I hope they find that guy and then they persecute him to the fullest extent. The fullest extent.
I mean, he's caught on camera, so it's only a matter of time until they catch this guy.
Oh yeah, easy. Like if I see him, I'm snitching. I'm telling you guys right now. I'm 30 years old. I'm not hood. I'm not street. I don't claim to be. I'm snitching on y'all.
You taking him to jail? Send him in?
I'm a civilian. I'm snitching.
You sound like Charlemagne right now.
Yeah, no, like straight up,
You sound like Charlemagne. Absolutely.
I'm a civilian. I'm snitching. I'm sorry. So who cares?
Absolutely. We need to talk about something good. Enough of this negative stuff. This is the best time in Chicago. It's starting to get warm out. It's gonna be like 80 degrees for the next few days this week.
Festival season
starting in June. It's festival season, like real festivals. We got Spring Awakening coming up, Lollapalooza, all about that. But even more so, I think it's more important. I think it's just so much fun. It's the best part of Chicago in the summer.
Summertime Shi's the best in the world.
Are the street festivals that you have in each and every neighborhood. So we want to talk about right now some of our favorite street festivals. What do you got? Who are some of your favorite street festivals?
So I can't wait for the River North Fest because that's my hood. So the River North Festival, it's super dope. Just like being able to, because there's so many restaurants that pop up. So I just don't have the chance. I'm a big foodie there. I don't have the chance to kind of check out every place. So being able to go there and to check out some of the new places and to try out some of the foods. I think that's dope. So I can't wait for that. And on top of that, everyone's out there. Like the ladies are in beach dresses, the guys are wearing shorts, showing off their muscles. It's good vibes. It's good people. It's all love. It's such a good environment. I love that. So I can't wait for the River North Fest. And then on top of that, do Division Festival on Division Street.
That's one of the first ones too, right?
Yeah, that's one of the first ones. A couple years ago, I used to live in like the Wicker Park, Bucktown area. That was my favorite festival. I used to love going out there. So I can't wait for that. Great beer, great food, good live music if you're into that. So that I can't wait for those two.
That's your favorite too? Okay.
Yeah, those are my favorite. So I'm definitely taking wifey there.
Oh yeah, good deal. I always like Wall Street Art Festival. I think it's like Saturday, June 10th that weekend, like the 9th through the 11th or something like that.
That's a good one.
In Old Town, that's always good. It's always good vibes. Make sure you check that one out. And then there was one in Lincoln Park that always comes up each and every year.
That's
too,
a classic.
Well.
Didn't we go to that one a couple years ago?
Yeah, we did. I usually try to go at least one day every year. It's called Taste of Lincoln.
Yeah.
Right in Lincoln Park. That's always a good time. And for some reason off the top of my head, I can't think of it. It's the one festival where they always have like the indie wrestlers come out there for the weekend. Bro, I always Snapchat you.
I remember a couple years ago when you sent the Snapchat, them guys just wrestling.
Hey, they be wrestling. It's like, it's a nice little street festival. I want to say it's off of like not Cedric. It's off the Brown line though. Off Southport.
Okay.
I can't think of the area. Yeah. I'll get the name to you later. But it's always a good time. Like they got like good food spots, good beer spots,
wings, and tacos.
Yeah, and then it is. And then right in the middle, they'll just straight have some indie wrestlers there, and this would be good matches. It's funny. And like the funniest part, the people around there watching that they actually come out just to specifically watch that.
Yeah.
So
how are the heels? Are they convincing?
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. But man, if you haven't been in Chicago yet for a summer, I always tell people there is no better city in Chicago in the summertime. Like it's just good vibe. It's always something to do. It's just a little something for everyone.
I tell people all the time in Chicago, a summertime Chicago is the best in the world, and that's the reason we live here. Because we go through 7-8 months of brutal winter, but then like that summertime makes up for it in so many more ways. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so. So that's good. That's coming up soon. If you're in Chicago for a weekend, make sure you check out one of the street festivals. People that have lived there for years absolutely know about it too as well. But this portion of the podcast is sponsored by Greenway Dispensary, downtown Lansing, Michigan, conveniently located on the corner of Oakland and Cedar. For all your cannabis products and more, check out our boys doing big things in Lansing. This dispensary is not in Illinois, Michigan, folks only. Their website is greenwave.co. Again, that is greenwave.co. But we haven't talked about it yet. We need to get into some music for the past week. And there's been a lot of stories outside of new albums. We'll get into that a little bit later. But the biggest story of the week is my guy, L.A. Reid. What is going on with him?
Yeah, so L.A. Reid is the president or chairman or something of Epic Records.
He was.
And he was accused of sexual harassment. I think that his track record has been pretty solid as far as from an executive standpoint. And this is me talking from an outsider looking in. I'm not an artist, I'm not a rapper or anything like that. But I think, he's had a lot of amazing acts during the course of his career. A lot of it mostly catered toward R&B, and now, as of recent, more hip hop.
Right.
But so I don't think it's ever okay to sexually harass anyone, or to sexually abuse anyone. And I think that the fact that, I heard his reputation preceded himself before this gig, and that people are still giving him jobs, that goes to show you that there's still a huge gap of, making sure that people are held responsible for their actions. So I think L.A. Reid, I'm happy that he resigned and he got out of that role. And I hope no one hires him in the future.
Oh, of course somebody will.
Yeah, and if they do your homework and still don't hire him. Like, I just don't think he deserves the job. And I think that it's unacceptable, whether you're black, white, orange, whatever the case may be. It's just not okay to sexually harass women. Period.
But on the counter side, do we know this is fact? Has he ever been convicted of this? has there ever been any other official charges? For what we know, these are all rumors.
Yeah,
and people are saying like every label he's been at previously, it's always been just speculation and rumors. He's never been officially, charged with this. He's never been eventually convicted of this. And when I hear this sounds like a Bill Cosby story. And Charlamagne on Breakfast Club always says this: you are guilty until proven innocent. And that's the big problem with this, because basically he was forced to resign, probably because of the accusations. It's not proven true. And like you just said, you already basically saying that it's true. Well, pretty much.
I mean, it's true. Like, think
how
about
do you know?
But think about it. Like, look at Bill O'Reilly. Like, he settled. We don't know if he settled like any cases out. I'm pretty sure a guy like that, an executive with that much power, I'm pretty sure L.A. Reid settled a plethora of cases outside of the court system with a lot of these women. I think it will come out now, and a lot of these women, they probably have gag orders where they said that if we settle this suit, you can't come out and say anything.
We don't know that though.
Hey, where there's smoke, there's fire, and I bet this guy has a trail as long as the Trail of Tears or something. like seriously,
possibly.
So I just think that with him, I mean, if Bill O'Reilly, he's a 56-year-old white man, if he can be let go or forced to resign from Fox, L.A. Reid should be able to be let go as well. I just kind of and what I'm trying to say is, like, no matter the race or no matter how much power you have, you're not above the law and you're not above respecting
absolutely
people.
Not. But we can't just generalize people and say that they're absolutely guilty because of an accusation. That's terrible. And that's what happens to a lot of people in society and people in this world. Like, anything accusation comes out, bam, if it hits the media, you're automatically guilty. You're guilty until proven innocent.
So Bill Cosby, you think he's really innocent?
I won't say that he's completely. Right. I would not say that he's completely innocent, but we don't know all the facts, and he's never been officially convicted of it. Absolutely. So
guess what? I don't care whether he has or has not. He looks like a predator. L.A. Reid. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. And I just think that for a guy who's been in the industry for this long and he's had this much power. I mean, this guy had people like Usher under him. He's worked with the likes of Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, huge name acts. These record companies can wipe a lot of these things under the rug, a lot of these issues. And I just think that this is the first time where, someone was probably like, I don't need the money, or I'm going to get the money, but at the same time, I'm going to expose this D-bag. So I just think that once he comes out and he's guilty, you're going to be like, okay, I was right.
If that happens,
you're going to tell me I was right.
If that ever happens, I will 100% come on here and apologize and say I was wrong. But on the flip side,
and by the way, I'm always on the side of women when it comes to that, for the most part.
I guess so. But at the end of the day, we always have to understand that you need to clear the facts. He may have stepped down to do damage control, or he was forced to step down by Epic Records to do damage control because they probably knew the storm that was about to come from this. Mm-hmm. But like I say, you're always innocent until proven guilty. But right now,
I get that.
Right now, he's already guilty until proven innocent.
Yes.
Which basically just came out and said
public
that he's
perception.
Guilty. Yeah,
he's already guilty.
Yeah, and that's how you just played it off. So unfortunately, he's guilty now, and now his legacy could be tarnished. Whether it's true or not, if it's true later, of course, I'll come out and say, man, you're an idiot for this. But for right now, we got to give him a shot. But it is a big story.
You got to give him the clown of the week if it comes out.
For sure. But Epic Records is one of the biggest hip hop record labels out there right now. So for him to have to step down, that's a pretty big deal.
It's huge. It's huge.
Hope it all works out. Everyone involved, it's a sad
It's kind of like the president of the United States getting impeached. Wink, wink.
Which may happen soon.
Yes. Sure. All right. So what else? So we've been going back and forth a lot via Twitter, text messaging, to the point of where we were probably down each other's throats. Pause. When it came to any type of we were just like, nah, stop texting each other. So right now, I think the biggest topic has been, is hip hop finally accepted amongst mainstream culture? And when I mean mainstream, I mean, pop, rock, those genres. So in my personal opinion, I'm like, no, I don't think hip hop is as accepted as you think it is. And you were kind of like, no, hip hop is number one. Hip hop is here to stay. Hip hop is popping right now.
It literally is mainstream culture.
So let's kind of, I want to hear your opinion on this on air, on wax. Just so that we have this for the record, so our listeners can kind of delve into this later on, like after the fact, after the show.
Absolutely. So I will go on record as saying that hip hop is literally the number one, music genre when it comes to mainstream culture. You watch commercials on TV, anything they're playing Kendrick Lamar, they're playing like a Drake song. The commercial is something in hip hop, even to the point now to where, I was at Coachella a few weeks back. Who was the number one headliner, not just a headliner, the headliner for Coachella was Kendrick Lamar. We have Lollapalooza coming up in August. Now, who is a headliner? Who is the headliner for Lollapalooza? It's Chance the Rapper. I was looking back at previous lineups, even like North Coast Music Festival in Chicago from like 2012. There was not one hip-hop artist for like the first 11 and 12 names. I looked at, North Coast Music Festival for 2017, right after Deadmau5. There was Gucci Mane. Mm-hmm. Whether you care or not, if he's the biggest name to have, if you like him or not, it's just the fact that times have changed. I was looking at Lollapalooza's lineup for this year coming up. Wiz Khalifa's on it, Lil Uzi Vert. We got Chance the Rapper, 21 Savage, Big Sean, MGK, Ray Shremmurd, Lil Yachty. Like, times have changed. I swear in 2012 of Lollapalooza lineup, you would not have seen this many names on there to where... Yeah, you may say, obviously, of course, you have a Lollapalooza lineup. There's going to be, 100+ acts on here. But the big names who they're advertising, it's just, it is hip-hop culture. That is the wave, and that's just what's going on right now. We had a wave where it was EDM music. That wave is slowly dying, as I said a few episodes ago. Mm-hmm. But the simple fact that, this is just being more accepted. You got the Drakes, the Kendricks of the world. Like that is what hip hop, that's what mainstream culture is hip hop, to whether it depends who it is, but they want to see that type of culture represented. That is the forefront of music right now. So that's how you're telling me like, oh, hip hop isn't mainstream, it's not 100% accepted, and whether who shows up or not, like that's who the people want to see. And that's why the music festivals are the prime example to show that it is mainstream culture right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I get it. Like, a lot of hip hop acts are getting the, like the headliner, the top 3, 4, big all cap letters, big billing type of, performances. At the end of the day, when I was doing my research on all these like Bonnaroo, when I was looking at Lollapalooza, when I was looking at North Coast, Coachella, when you compare the amount of pop, EDM, country, whatever various different acts they are compared to the hip hop acts, there's still a pretty big discrepancy involved. So for me, give us 3, 4 hip hop acts, and if you're and put them at the top billing, and the rest are just, you're a run of the mill pop artist, country artist, rock artist. Nah, like that doesn't indicate to me that hip hop is respected and is number one.
But they're not selling the tickets, so like those are the main act. They're just selling tickets. Everyone else is an afterthought.
No, I mean, they're the main acts, and they're selling they're selling some tickets.
They are the draw.
But they're the draw on paper. But when it comes down to, okay, if I'm looking at a festival, I'm looking at 5, 6, 7 different acts. Okay, Kendrick Lamar's on there, cool. However, I see Red Hot Chili Peppers on there. Oh, I see that. U2's on there. Oh, I see that, REM's on there. So like, it's one of those things where like, nah, man, like I get what you're saying. And like, yeah, they're going to throw them on there. But at the end of the day, like people are going there for like the big grouping of acts.
Absolutely.
Like they're going for like the 5, 6 other bands that they wanted to see instead of the main act. I'm not going to a festival and paying for a 3-4 day pass just to go see Kendrick Lamar is going to be there for one day. I'm going to see. I'm paying just because I know that I'm going to have 5, 6, 7 of my rock acts or my pop acts on the bill, and then if I happen to see Chance the Rapper, or I happen to see Jay-Z, or I happen to see Kendrick, then cool. But like at the end of the day, I'm gonna be happy seeing my 5, 6 other acts. So for me, I don't think hip hop is. I think unless hip hop is going to be respected, it's going to be mainstream once they're at least 50% of the acts. Or a little bit over.
If that's the case, then it's going to be an actual hip hop festival. Like they actually are specifically hip hop festivals.
Why does it have to be hip hop festivals?
To give you an example, like the Rolling Loud a couple weeks ago that was in Miami, that was a hip hop festival. There are many festivals.
Rolling Loud was like 95 to 100% hip hop.
Yeah, but that's what it is. So most like the big festivals, obviously Bonnaroo, Coachella, Lollapalooza, they're gonna have a little bit of everything. But my point is, when you're talking about the biggest acts, the biggest draws, they are hip hop names, obviously, but they're specific. There's a rock festival specific. There are festivals specific to EDM. There's EDC Vegas, like it's all EDM. There's festivals specific to hip hop. There's Rolling Loud. Like Governor's Ball is a little bit of everything. All my point is, when you're talking about the biggest draw, like who's the one selling the tickets, like the face of the festival, they're all hip hop names. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z's about to come back out. Like who's headlining ACL this year? Jay-Z, hip hop. Like pretty much every single festival I name that's the biggest festival is a hip hop artist as the draw, which wasn't the case in 2012. That's why I say hip hop is mainstream culture. There's always going to be other things going on, but that's kind of how I see it, which is a good sign. I think hip hop's in a good place right now because of it.
Hip hop has came a long way. It's came far a long way. However, it's still a long ways away from being accepted because The Rock doesn't accept hip hop. These rock artists, you know, they don't at all, even though they pull from jazz and they pull from hip hop and they pull, you know, like, so the rock guys only do it, or the pop guys, they use it, like a Miley Cyrus, or, you know, who's culture vulturing. And one couple years ago, she's hip hop and she's twerking and all this, and all of a sudden she's like, I'm back to being, you know, Lily White, Miley Cyrus, and she's denouncing the Michael Maids, and she's denouncing, you know, the Metro Boomings now all of a sudden. So it's like, for me, until hip hop has been accepted as being like a legit, you know, genre of music.
Culture vultures is what you're saying that are out there.
Yeah. Which I would say a majority of these guys are culture vultures out there. Yeah. Like, you know, like you don't have too many Rick Rubins, no shoes on, you know, the white shirt, you know, nasty, you know, underarm white shirt, just chilling, recording. You don't have a lot of those guys who appreciate the culture. So I just think that, I just think that it's a long ways away, and is that accepted as you think it is because of what you see on a flyer?
No, not even on a flyer. Just you go to festivals, like Sam being at Coachella, like the biggest artists there were, you know, they were here to see the hip hop people. It's just, I think times have just changed just a little bit more than I think what you may feel and see. Like, for example, we'll hop off of this soon, the two biggest, you know, record sales of 2017, Kendrick Lamar and Drake's album. There's no two bigger first week sales of any genre of music in the world. Like, that should be almost like a mic drop moment. That's like what you see, that there is the proofs in the pudding with the numbers. The fact that the two biggest sellers of the year so far have been Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Sorry, there's no Taylor Swift, but you can't compare it to what's not there.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like Drake, Kendrick, those guys are the cream of the crops. They are the A-list, right? Wait until another A-list artist within pop, wait until they drop something.
Maybe.
Yeah. They're going to destroy Drake and Kendrick's numbers. Right now, we have like Harry Styles just dropped the album. He did great numbers, but he's not an A-list pop star artist. Like, he's not an Adele. He's not a Taylor. You know, like he's not those type of people. So wait until those guys do it. But however, we can go off on a tangent on this forever.
Absolutely.
But you know, we'll have this conversation again, and we want to hear all you guys chime in at us. Leave reviews. Like, I want to hear your thoughts
on this for sure. So we've been talking about this for a while. I think hip hop is mainstream culture. You think it's not? I think we need to hear your comments and reviews to see like which side you stand on this one too, for sure.
Facts.
Absolutely. So, but this portion of the podcast is sponsored by Green Wave Dispensary, downtown Lansing, Michigan, conveniently located on the corner of Oakland and Cedar. For all your cannabis products and more, check out our boys doing big things in Lansing, Michigan. This dispensary is not in Illinois, Michigan folks only. Their website is greenwave.co. That is greenwave.co. And before we get off music overall, there's a couple more things we need to talk about. Albums came out this past week. There was a lot. So Harry Styles came out, not a big fan. Paramore came out. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of that music either. They're obviously going to sell a lot of good records. Zac Brown Band came out. So what I've noticed is there's just been a lot of just big artists have come out in 2017, probably going to sell a lot of records. But in regards to, like, you know, the hip hop side as well, and everyone knows me and knows I'm a big Machine Gun Kelly fan. I listened to the album a couple of times over this past weekend. It came out this past Friday. Bye Guy Bobby is a big hater of MGK, always has and always has been. And he told me on social media he was not going to comment once on the album until we heard it now. So before I give my thoughts on the album, Let's hear what you got. I've been waiting for this all week.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the album?
So MGK's album just dropped on Friday. The name of the album is Bloom through Interscope via Bad Boy Records, which Diddy owns. The album to me was lukewarm. I thought that, he went very, very pop, Kid Rockish on this album. And I don't want to say country or ish, but I want to say more like very Kid Rockish. And in the latter part of Kid Rock's career. And I wasn't feeling it as much. He had a couple tracks. I liked his intro. His song with Quavo and those, like the Migos and stuff. That song was okay. And I really like the Bad Things song with Camilla because I love Camilla's voice. I thought she saved that track, and I thought she was the reason why fans flocked to that song, like Bad Things. And I like Haley Steinfeld, but not for her singing, more for her acting. MGK album, he's an interesting character because, he's a white rapper. And he's tall, he has the look, he has the, kind of like the, you can sell him. He has the swag that Logic doesn't have. However, his bars came off very, elementary to me. And I just thought that he was veering down a Bubba Sparks Kid Rock avenue, which I wasn't expecting as much.
What?
Bubba Sparks, Kid Rock, meaning turn. He was harmonizing, singing. Some of the beats were kind of country rockish, / with a little bit of hint of hip hop in there. I kind of felt like it was more of an album for the culture vultures, and I wasn't really feeling it. If honestly out of 5, I would have gave that album a 2.5 out of 3. I would give it it was lukewarm. It was okay. It was cool. I actually liked his General Mission a lot better than this album. And granted, yeah, he showed growth and he's trying new and different things. And, he's trying to grow as an artist. But MGK, I just think that, he should have probably had a lot of more tracks kind of catered towards the way he did Bad Things and less Bubba Sparkish, Kid Rockish type of feel. He should have had a little bit more pop and a less pop rock country-ish.
I really don't think. I guess
he was harmonizing way
totally
too
different.
much. So that's what I heard
for sure. And I kind of expect you to say this. So going into it, I knew you're gonna trash it or say it was lukewarm.
I'm not trashing it. I said it's lukewarm. Lukewarm isn't bad.
That's not good at all. Honestly, because I've listened to all 3 of his real albums, not his mixtapes. I think overall this was his best overall album he's had to date. I think it just shows his growth, and I think he's kind of found his lane and who he's gonna be. He has a little bit of a mixture of his hip hop. He can do his pop. He's got his alternative rock lane. I think it is, and clearly it's working with the simple fact that he's all over the radio now. Obviously, he's got Bad Things. He has that At My Best song. He's actually turning into more of a true pop star. I think it is, to where he's saying he didn't do enough. I think he did almost too much pop, to where I think he needs to just chill with that, and he can have his lane for about the next 10 years of his career, where he dabbles in his pop lane. He can do his hip hop songs. He's gonna have his Quavo, songs like that. Ty Dolla $ign, The Gunner, I think was probably the best song on there. Golden Guy was a dope track as well too. He did a really good job, to where I give the album a solid B. I'm not gonna be naive and say it was an A+ or was a classic. No. Not the best album of 2017, but I think it was a solid B. I think he's trying new ventures in his career, so I think it was a good album, to where I think it's gonna be perceived well. I think it's selling well, and we'll get to the numbers later this week. But I think overall, I think it was a good album to show his growth in his career. And I'm all for artists, music artists, whether it's rappers, singers, it doesn't matter, trying new things in his career. I think a lot of times people get put in a box to where, you need to do this, you need to do that for the rest of your career. And I think he's the type of guy where he's always broken down walls. And that's why it's dope to see where he is right now, to where he's doing many different things. And now he's booked on friggin' things like Wango Tango, the biggest
tier 2, tier 3 shows.
Wango Tango is one of the biggest pop radio shows in Los Angeles.
I've never heard of Wango. I never heard of Mango Tango.
That's because you're short-sighted. Like, you don't keep up with everything. 102.7 in LA is like the biggest pop radio station in the country.
This guy lives in Chicago and he keeping up with LA radio.
Yeah, because I'm just, I keep up to date with what's going on and what's hot. So the fact that you don't know about it doesn't mean that you just don't keep up. That's a huge radio show, and he got booked for it. This guy won a Radio Disney Award. Would you have ever thought about? That's crazy.
Disney.
It does.
Miley Cyrus, even
that makes
Steven,
it even better.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
It makes it
Disney.
Even better.
No, that's corny. That's corny.
It's just a big deal that so basically what he's doing, he's making people fit into where he is as opposed to changing what he is. He's always made songs like that. People just finally catching on.
No. He has not always made songs like that. Because if that was the case, he would have been number 4 on the top 100 Billboard. Like Camilla from that group, wherever group she came from, like what's the name of that group?
He's always had songs like that.
Like she made that song Bad Things. He's never had a Bad Things song like that. Like what are you talking about?
But I guess you just don't really listen that well. All his albums. His first album, he had a song like that. He had Invincible. The second album, he had a little more.
Why didn't that track go top 100?
It just doesn't matter.
Why didn't it go top 10?
People just changed
in the Billboard's top 100. No,
honestly, I don't know.
Yes, because he never had a song like that. She made that track, and MGK. Yeah, I get it. Like
people are just catching on to what he does, and it's working now.
That's your favorite artist, and you think his bars are elementary. The album, I just thought that all right. It was a little bit of Barbara Sparks, a little bit of Kid Rock, a little bit of Yellow Wolf, mixed with a little bit of fake Eminem. In my opinion.
Yeah, we thought you were gonna say this, so I'm totally cool with that feedback. Right, cool. So it's all good. Yeah. But I think I give it a solid B, and I think he's well on his way. He's doing good with his career right now.
Yeah.
So I'm cool. I just wanted to see what
he's not winning a Grammy. Just know that.
You better hope he doesn't.
No, he's not. and guess what? And those record shows are coming out this week, so be very afraid.
Absolutely.
You already know.
I think it'll be fine.
Hey, I'm off with your head top. You already know.
Speaking of award shows, though,
I'm not going to let you sleep at all.
Of course not. Of course you won't. I'm fine with it because I'm pretty confident what's going to happen. But speaking of award shows, the BET Award nominations came out just today. I saw in very skeptical of some of the nominations. For example, the one we saw the most that came out was the best new artist, that Chance the Rapper was nominated.
Chance the Rapper, man.
That's my guy for Chicago.
Hey, just to let you know, Alternative Fact Chicago, Chance the Rapper, you are the friend of the show. We love you.
Absolutely.
We actually want to have you on this show if you would come on this show. However, you're not a new artist. Chance is an established artist. Everyone knows him. He won 5, 10, 30,000 Grammys. You're all over the place. You're on talk show radio. You have a huge following. The Obamas know you. It's like Chance is not a new artist. I'm sorry. There's no way he should be in that conversation at all. Right? Would you agree?
Oh, I totally agree. It's not even that. The people that were nominated, for example, like Cardi B, like what big song has she ever had to be nominated for Best New Artist?
I was shocked. Remember, I tagged you on Twitter, and I was like, B, I know you keep up with music just as much as me, and I've never heard a Cardi B song
ever. I
thought she was reality TV only. She
got signed recently by
who?
I wish I had that up right now. Maybe I don't know if it was Epic Records. Someone signed her recently.
That's probably why.
But the fact that she still hasn't had a song, like 21 Savage, that's cool. He's done his thing. But the people like Lil Yachty wasn't nominated, Little Uzi Vert, people actually like really doing big things. And another one, album of the year, Beyonce Lemonade was nominated. Then that album come out, I don't have the stat up right now, but 2015, 2014. Like, why in 2017 is it still nominated for album of the year? What I thought and what I'm thinking is they're going for ratings clicks, for the cash grab. They're making sure certain people are nominated in certain categories to get people to watch. That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah, so I just looked it up. Yeah, Cardi B, she signed a mega deal to Atlantic Records.
It was Atlantic. I knew it was a big label.
So I think that's ridiculous, Atlantic, and you guys are idiots. I'm sorry. I'm not listening to no damn Cardi B music at all.
Ever.
She's entertaining on television, but I'm not listening to her music. I can't take her seriously. And Little Uzi Vert, I think he should have made it. He's a rock star. He has great tracks. The culture.
The MGK wannabe?
Yeah. Yeah. No comment.
Stole his swag, but it's all good.
But he's doing his thing, and I mean, Young Ma, she only has YouTube freestyles. Who else they nominated?
For best new artist, I don't know.
Okay, Khaled. I think he dropped the album.
Yeah, not DJ Khaled, but just Khaled.
No,
yeah.
Khaled. I think he dropped the album. Could have been, but not 100% sure. But no one's checking for his music. At least not us.
Did you already say Young M.A.?
Yeah. I said Shorty does YouTube freestyles.
Yeah, she's had one song. Yeah. She released like an EP that freaking came and went.
So really, Chance is the only one that legitly like kind of dropped the mixtape album. I'm gonna say an album because I'm not letting these artists. I'm not letting his artists get away with saying they're dropping mixtapes. No, this is your album. With these people, dropping albums, and his album was amazing.
Absolutely, but I think it's a big reach.
Yeah, but at the same time, no one else on that list has dropped anything. So how can you give him any BT award?
Like I said, I think they nominated him just to know that he's going to win. Like every single, you can tell every single category they pick people that know they'll be in just so they can win. They got it right, obviously, with like best male hip hop artists, all the heavy hitters,
and they know he's coming for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why they did it. They're like, what category can we get to make sure he shows up?
Because all those guys are showing up on that list.
Oh, for sure, but they're not going to win though.
No, absolutely. They're not going to win. So I think that goes to show you that Stephen Hill leaving Viacom / BET, like they're already. I feel sorry. I feel scared for that show. Yeah, because I think they're gonna just completely crap the bed on this one.
For sure, I think they just didn't really take their time and do some real research. On who really should be nominated. Big swing and a miss. A lot of most of the categories. Some of the categories obviously got it right. Like for best male hip hop artists, like Big Sean, Kendrick, Future, J. Cole, Drake.
That's like top 5.
Like you can't get
now.
that wrong. All the heavy hitters, like I get it. That's respectable. But I think for overall, I think they definitely they really didn't reach into the pulse of what's really going on and then do their research. But we don't need to talk about that too much. So for sure, absolutely,
okay, cool,
absolutely.
So let's get into the NBA playoffs. James Harden, he just completely played like crap in that series against the Spurs.
Game 7, not even the whole series.
Wait, no, not even the whole series. What happened? Was he shaving points? What? Like, did he get a text from a Kardashian before the game that threw him off? Like, hey, let's talk, big head. Like, what happened to James Harden?
It was just Game 7 because most of the series he played great.
He was hooping, right?
Yeah, but Game 7 he just showed up as if like he just didn't want to play. Like maybe he was sick. A lot of times, like I said, we find these things out like many years later when you see people like caught shaving points. Honestly, when I was watching that game, that's what I thought. I'm like, man, did he get like someone pay him $10 million to just like not play that well?
Yeah,
well, he literally play like he didn't really care about the game basketball.
Was it? Yeah, because James Harden, he just had he had no passion. He was James, the guy on the team. What's his name? I think his last name is Simmons.
Yeah.
James Simmons or Jim
Something
Simmons.
like that.
Yeah, whatever his name is, D-League guy, by the way, who paid $150 just to play for the Spurs D-League team. This guy. And he was locking down James Harden, waving off the defense, and taking them one-on-one. You got to be ridiculous. And James Harden is supposed to be like the MVP.
Like the top guy like of the NBA.
Yeah. And the fact that he was getting locked down by this guy, I'm like, yo, this is nuts. Like, Harden's not going to live down from this. And however, I feel like in this past couple, in his career, he did this, as of in the beginning of his career when he was with OKC, when they had Westbrook, Durant, and Harden, and they played against the Heat, and he was nowhere to be found in that series.
He does this a lot.
And so the fact that he's still doing this, and that's been like the past, 5 years or so, that's kind of bad.
Yeah, I think he does this a lot. He'll play big in games that don't matter or times when it doesn't matter. But when you need him to come up clutch in the Game 7, he disappears. That should be a big shadow or a big asterisk on his career to where people talking about Russ Westbrook and all these other people. You want to have James Harden up there. This guy, like he literally, every time you need him, he's like his whole body and game just shuts down as a person. It's kind of crazy that happened.
It's weird.
It is weird.
It's odd.
And even after like the press conference after, he didn't show any emotion. Like he didn't really care.
And he went to the strip club after.
Like after that,
and then just threw mad bands and was with mad chicks. And I'm like, dude,
weird.
if you've ever played sports, you play sports in your growing up. I played sports. When you lose, you're heated.
Absolutely.
You don't want any phone calls, no texts. You just want to be left alone. You're just
didn't seem like
you want to fight. And he's at the strip club throwing bands of money.
Not even like a couple $100, like thousands of dollars. Like maybe that's the way like to relieve his stress. Maybe.
No, that's whack.
Have a better image. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a loser. At least like don't do that night and go the next night.
Exactly.
Like have that wherewithal. But like he's He's a clown. Like he's not even top after that. Whatever he just did, he's not even top 10 in the NBA to me anymore. He's just like a secondary player.
Absolutely. But can we get to the NBA Finals? Like obviously with the series of conference finals, coming up as well. Seattle. Not Seattle. I can't talk right now. San Antonio and Golden State. That series is over. Keywan, he's hurt again.
Kawhi,
he's hurt.
I think Zaza's like accidentally stepped on his ankle that he hurt before in the last series with the Rockets, and now
they could have won that game. They were up by 20, 25 points.
They should have won that game.
Yeah, they should have. That was their chance.
That was their chance to split at Oracle, and now it's over.
Yeah, it's over. They might not win again. They may win one game.
Warriors. I'm calling it right now. Warriors in 5. If the Spurs are lucky,
if Leonard can come back and play, because obviously, they're just a beat up team. They're just getting older, and they made it far enough. But I mean, outside of that, it doesn't matter. It's going to be Cleveland. It's going to be Golden State for the 3rd straight year. Yeah. Like, can't we just get to it? I feel like right now we're just kind of coasting right now, and it's just wasting a bunch of time.
Yep, I agree.
Absolutely. Like, it's going to be a dope series. They've been the best 2 teams all year long. So, but the biggest story talking about sports right now, my guy Tom Brady, who, if you haven't heard, do some research on it. He's agreed to be on the NFL Madden cover for this upcoming season. Everyone knows what the NFL Madden curse. For those that don't know, a lot of times that when you end up on the cover for NFL Madden, whether it be in 1999, 2000, it doesn't really matter. Just for some weird reason, for everything and for why you'd be on the Madden cover, you end up getting hurt for that season. Just to give you a quick example, Rob Gronkowski for the New England Patriots, tight end, has had a great career. He has been hurt a couple of times in his career, but even last season, he got hurt, missed the last few games in the season, missed the entire playoffs. Luckily, the Patriots still won the Super Bowl, but he was out for a lot of that season. I really don't get or understand why Tom Brady agreed to this. It's just been a curse that a lot of players just get hurt. He's agreed to it. And why I think he actually did it, I think at this point, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Might even go down as the greatest football player in NFL history of all time. I think he's just doing that as a challenge, even to the point where he's blatantly embracing it. He did a commercial that came out last weekend where he shattered some glass, walked under a ladder, just to kind of prove that he's not scared of the challenge. So I think at this point in his life, he's bored. He already knows he's the best. And that for that reason, he's going to just take this challenge as something to beat for the 2017 season. In my mind, I'm thinking, why are the Patriots allowing him to do this? Because really right now, they really have no reason not to. It's kind of one of those things where, we still have Tom Brady. We just re-signed him. If for some reason it doesn't work and he gets hit by the Madden curse and does get hurt, we got Jimmy G, we got Jimmy Garoppolo as the backup quarterback who we can use after that. So for that reason, I think they're just like, oh, Tom Brady, you know what? You want the challenge, take it. If for some reason it doesn't work and you get hurt, we got Jimmy G waiting in the rings anyway. And you might actually, this might work out for him. Or you can just have Jimmy G, be your quarterback if Brady gets hurt. So it's kind of like a win-win for the Patriots at some point where Brady gets, one more chance to break a new challenge. And he's embracing that for the season, which is kind of cool, but kind of dumb in the same sense. But I mean, the Patriots are still going into this season as the best team, period, in football. And there's a lot of Patriot haters out there, but I'm a big Patriot fan. And they're going to repeat again at this point.
If anyone can beat that, the Madden curse is Brady, because he proved after what happened in the Falcons Super Bowl, that was just straight voodoo to me. So I'm not doubting this man ever again. So I think he's going to play a full 16-game season. He's going to put up 30-plus touchdowns. This time he's not missing 4 games. He's going to put up 4 or 5, especially with Brandon Crooks. He's going to put up 4,000 or 5,000 passing. He's going to put up 4,000 or 5,000 passing yards. And he's going to be chilling. So I think that he's definitely going to be in a position of beating that record.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Absolutely. I think he might beat it, but it's like one of those things where it's his challenge to beat it. To where I think it's something to keep him motivated. Because I think he's done it all. So he's like, what can I do for the season to keep me motivated? Oh, let me break the Madden curse. Absolutely. So that's kind of like where I see it at. And it's kind of still the Patriots organization, but I get it for the simple fact that, we got nothing left to lose. So, why not do that? Let him see if he can beat it. And if he gets hurt, we got Jimmy G waiting in the wings. So that's kind of how I see it as well. Do you agree or do you think something else?
No. I like for the first time in a long time, within this past 2 weeks, I agree with you.
We got to agree on something here and there.
Yeah, we got to agree on something. So.
Absolutely. But before we get to the clown of the weekend and finish this episode, this portion of the podcast is sponsored by Green Wave Dispensary, downtown Lansing, Michigan, conveniently located on the corner of Oakland and Cedar. For all your cannabis products and more, check out our boys doing big things in Lansing, Michigan. This dispensary is not in Illinois, Michigan, folks. Only their website is greenwave.co. Again, that is greenwave.co. Shout out to my guys, Michael Mays, Tom Mays. I love these boys for life. They're doing big things as well. My guy Kevin as well, too. And also, big shout out to our guy Woody, who's been helping us out, promoting, kind of, doing big things. Check him out. Go see for yourself. He's on Instagram as well as Facebook as well, too. Check him out. He's doing big things. He's traveling, man. This guy is doing a lot of traveling. He's in Hawaii right now, left Chicago. He's going to be traveling all around the world, and he's got a big initiative coming out. But find him. Go and see for yourself.
He's a big deal.
He is, and I love that kid to death. So go check out my guy, Woodrow Ellis, Woody Wood, and see what he's up to. But before we get to the clown of the week, do you want to get to our big announcement, or do you want to wait till after the clown of the week?
All right, let's get to our big announcement. So, we will be on the NBC.
Absolutely. NBC
Sports Radio show with Dave Smith on June 10th. So, it's a huge deal for us because this will be our first, national radio show.
Absolutely.
So, we're super excited. Once again, it's going to be on June 10th. We're going to have a chance to, just talk about our Chicago sports, the Bears, Bulls, Cubs, White Sox. So, we're really excited.
Absolutely.
And after 5 episodes of us just doing this, for us to be able to be on a national radio show, that's amazing.
For sure, and I really appreciate that. Big shouts out to Dave Smith. He found us on Twitter. He loves our podcast. Say we're doing big things. We say we have a lot of potential, and he wants give us a shot. So NBC Sports Radio also is going to be on Sirius Radio. So Saturday, June 10th. On Sirius XM channel 213, I think 202 as well too.
He's a super good dude.
Absolutely,
it's nuts.
So cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's giving us that opportunity as a guest spot, so we'll be on for about 10, 15, 20 minutes, talk about Chicago Sports Radio. Also get the chance to talk about our podcast, but we really appreciate that. It's a great look. For us to be only 5-6 episodes in, and we already get to get some national exposure. It's a huge deal for us. We're really proud, and we'll make sure all our fans, all our supporters get the links to it as well too. So check it out Saturday, June 10th. More details to come, but absolutely it's going to be a good look for us. And I really appreciate all the support, and man, the fact that it's jumping off this fast it's huge for us. But our biggest segment of the week, we look forward to this each and every week because we can just clown on anybody that we want. Clown of the week. Absolutely. You got to go first on this one.
Yeah. So I'm giving my clown of the week to Karen McCullough of the District of Columbia. She was asked during Sunday night's pageant whether she thinks the affordable health care for all U.S. citizens is a right or a privilege. She said it was a privilege. She stated, I quote, "As a government employee, I'm granted health care, and I see firsthand that for one to have health care, you need to have jobs." That's what the 25-year-old woman stated. Later in the competition, she was also asked what she considers feminism to be and whether she considers herself a feminist. McCullough said she likes to transpose the word feminism to equalism. She's a U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission scientist, and obviously within social media, Twitter, those answers did not sit well. So for me, personally, I think that, I think she's an African-American woman, and I think that was awesome that, she won Miss USA. However, for me, whether you're black, white, orange, yellow, whatever the color may be, you don't you just don't, I won't give you a pass on this. Because at the end of the day, I think that healthcare should be given to anyone and everyone, whether you have means, whether you have no means. And I think that answer was very irresponsible of her. And I think that she probably wasn't exposed to a certain part of the, whether the community or an environment where she could see people who are suffering. So I just think that I just think that that was not indicative of what a feminist would be, and I just think that from a culture standpoint, I'm not, just because she's African American, I'm gonna get a woman, I'm gonna give her a pass on that. And I had a bunch of arguments on Twitter today about that. So she is going to get the clown of the week. I thought that for you to be a role model, for you to be a person who cares, who's compassionate about human beings, who cares about, people's health, people living. It's living and dying. It's for black sure. and white. That's ridiculous. And I think that if that was me, I would have hit a Steve Harvey and I would have gave it to someone else. So you're getting the clown of the week, the clown of the week, Miss District of Columbia. You're a clown, and I don't care that you're a white woman, black woman, whatever, that you won the Miss USA. So regardless of that, you need to go back, do your research, do your go back, get educated, go to those communities where they don't have the funds, people are on welfare, people are struggling, and you need to go in and you need to get a check in reality. So she's getting my clown of the week. She's a clown.
I don't think she cares, and Miss USA, obviously, and all those pageants, it's very heavy skewed towards looks. And I was watching last night and I was like, man, she's bad. She was pretty hot though.
I don't care. I don't care if she looks like I don't care if she's number one on the Maxim hot list.
She was pretty hot.
That will make pretty people saying the ugliest things will make them look like the ugliest people. Period. So she's getting the clown of the week.
Absolutely.
She's a clown.
Absolutely. And before we hop off for the season, it's been another great episode. I got to give my clown of the week. And I don't think we've ever done this yet, 6 episodes in, the fact that we've given Donald Trump clown of the week. And in fact, I don't need to necessarily get in every single story because we know each and every day it's always something stupid. The biggest reason he's getting clown of the week is what is his ties to Russia and what is his obsession. Even to the fact that a few hours ago, it was revealed that Donald Trump was revealing intelligence secrets to Russians in the Oval Office. What is his obsession with Russia? I feel like each and every day there's more stories coming out of what's going on with his ties to Russia. Not even that fact, it's almost the fact that we're about to end up in World War III, possibly, with each and everything that's going on. And I think we just need to always come to a realization with ourselves that, whether you voted for him in the beginning, you thought it might be time for a change, you did or did not like what was going on with Obama, it was just time to try something a little bit different. I think we've all just come to the realization that I think it's just time that we kind of move on from this. I think it's just too much of a sideshow, too much of a side story. We're not really getting to the facts of how we can help the United States. America is just in a weird place right now. Other countries are looking at us what is this joke going on? And we're not really doing much to help the country overall. Each and every day, all these articles are damage control of things that he's saying, things he's doing, and what to fix. And there's always ties to Russia. The fact that we talked about earlier why the FBI director got fired because he really legitimately has something, no matter what the facts are or what it was. He probably had something really serious against him. So what did Trump do? He fired him to kind of play damage control for what might happen to him. It's just too much. The fact is, a lot of people were before the election were, really hyping up Trump and really supporting him. Those people have gotten really quiet, the past few months. They're just not saying much overall. So I think they even know clock is ticking. I took a poll about 2 months ago about how the over-under, how long he'll last. He may not last much longer, and this is getting really serious. So, yeah, absolutely. What were you going to say?
No, yeah. He's just you can give him the clown of the week every week.
All the time.
And I just think that, at first I was like, hey, maybe the media is bullying this guy, or maybe he is just being put in the corner about the same, but nah, he's just doing things where he's putting himself in those positions, and is at a point where if you have a friend and he's a drunk, and the first 2-3 times you're like, come on, man, stop doing this. And
absolutely.
You're like, no, I promise, I don't have a drinking problem. I don't have to stop drinking. I'm not going to embarrass you. And then you give him pass. After the 4th, 5th, 6th time, you got to call a spade and be like, bro, it's time for you to go into rehab.
Absolutely. And I think that's where we really are. Even to the point where he admitted, he wasn't prepared for this. He might not have been ready for this whole situation. I think he's in over his head to where now he's trying to make excuses to kind of downside it. So I'm not sure what his obsession is with Russia. We may not ever know, but it's just getting really bad. And for that, for the first time ever on Alternative Facts Chicago, we are giving you Donald Trump the clown of the week. Absolutely.
Yes, you are a clown. Stop sharing our
For sure.
information with the Russians.
Absolutely. It's been another great episode. We are 6 episodes in. I am loving where we are headed. You know, we got good vibes. We've been getting great feedback, and I just love what we're doing. We are the number one podcast in the city of Chicago.
The number one.
Period.
No, the number one in the Midwest.
Absolutely. We listen to a lot of podcasts, and all the big podcasts, if you know, that are in New York, LA, Los Angeles, or whatnot. But for the Midwest, the key to Chicago, we are the number one podcast. There is no one who has the good vibes and are doing like we do. So if you're not catching on right now, absolutely you better soon, because we are doing big things. Like I said, we got the NBC Sports Radio Show coming up soon as well too. Always looking for more sponsors. Do not forget, if you missed previous episodes, 50% of our sponsorship proceeds go to the Chicago Public Schools. We always care about the city, always giving back to the city as well too.
And also, please follow us on Twitter, AFACT Chicago, on Instagram, we're Alternative Facts Chicago. Also, please subscribe, leave us a review on iTunes, Alternative Facts Chicago podcast. We're on Google Play, Alternative Facts Chicago podcast. Please leave us reviews, show us support. We love you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I can't believe we're on episode 6.
It's crazy.
And we've reached exactly where we thought we were going to be.
For sure.
And I'm excited to see what's going to happen over this summer.
Absolutely.
We're about to heat up this summer.
It is, man. It's getting big at the right time. So episode 7 will be coming up soon. It's Memorial Weekend. We're going to be doing it. We may have a special guest that weekend, but tune in to find out if we do or not.
Yes.
But things are starting to take off for us, and we really appreciate it. Like, you have no idea. From the bottom of our hearts, like, we were sincere when we say we really appreciate everything that's happening, and we really appreciate the support.
Feeling blessed.
Absolutely. Light life, and God is good. So for B Hunt right here, this
Bobby,
is my guy, Bobby.
We lit.
Absolutely. Alternative Facts Chicago, episode 6, and we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. There
Absolutely.
we go.
Have a good
Boom.
night.
Put it in the books.